Hello everyone and welcome to the Mortuary. I'm Mortician, and today I know I'm supposed to be streaming, but I don't think I'm gonna. I'm not feeling well. My nose is kind of stuffed up, and I've been working kind of hard on a video that's coming up sometime this month. I can't tell you what it is, but I have a lot of notes here, quite a lot, 3 pages worth of notes. So I have some work to do, but right now I just feel like I'll do something easygoing. I might stream later at 7 p.m., but I'm not actually sure. So I decided, instead of just skipping today entirely, I decided to do something easygoing. I probably said decided 100,000 times in that sentence. So I decided to go with, gotta make a drinking game out of this, to go with my top 5 favorite films. Obviously I have 5 films here. Maybe I'll bring up some honorable mentions, but they won't be showcased like the DVD wise. So let's see, I should have probably put them in order here. Boop, 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 bap. So the first one, anyone who knows me knows I love The Punisher. The Punisher is my all-time favorite anti-hero. He is the anti-hero that got me into comic books. So of course it only makes sense that I have the Punisher Warzone. Well, Cameron, why Punisher Warzone? Well, actually, this is really close to the source material. The 2004 Thomas Jane one was not really... It didn't illustrate his origin story correctly. It was not a... like, his entire family didn't get executed at a family reunion. It was just they witnessed a mob hit in Central Park. His wife, his daughter, and I think his son were all killed. He was the only one that survived somehow. And that's where this gets it right. So there is one. Another thing, the villain in the first, well, I shouldn't say it's the first one because there's one like 1986, but from here on out, if I say first one, it's that one, the 2004 version. So the 2004 version, the Saint, Howard Saint, isn't really that over the top. Like, if you read The Punisher, here we go, bring this out. If you read one of these, this is the older Punisher comics. They're very over the top characters, and that's what I like about Jigsaw in this. He's very over the top, his accent's over the top, it's kind of silly. And that's how Looney Bin Jim is, and that's how What's-His-Face, the other 2 fuckers who ride around with Jigsaw and Looney Bin, that's how they are. They're fucking comedic, and even at times when it's serious, it's actually, there's always a break in this seriousness. Even in the most intense gunfights, there happens to be a small joke in order to alleviate some of that pressure, we can call it. I think that's what the first one didn't have, and it wasn't also gory. Like this one's fucking brutal, and I love it for it. Ray Stevenson, you can say whatever you want. He's not exactly the best Punisher, but he looks like the Punisher. Like this motherfucker, Ray Stevenson, is Frank Castle, just stature-wise. So yeah, we're gonna move on because I can talk about that movie forever. And this was meant to be a quick video. Not gonna be a quick video, probably, of course. Gonna put these in order, but we're gonna go with Evil Dead 2. And Evil Dead 2 is all the Evil Deads. I couldn't pick one, but I had to. Like if you were like, Cameron, pick an Evil Dead movie. That's the one you gotta watch for the rest of your life. This is it. Why? Because it's not just horror, it's not just gore, it's also funny. Because the first one, they had a really small budget, and it actually turned out to be more of a comedy horror than a full-blown horror film. So instead of, getting all pissy like a fucking indie director would or something, Sam Raimi's like, okay, fuck you, have this. And it was a perfect blend of horror and comedy, and it's just beautiful. The Laughing Deer, I actually have a track. Well, I don't have it anymore because, I saw up the motherboard and whatnot, but I had a track in which I made a horror intro for Playing with Power, and I used that laughing track of the deer on the above the fireplace on the mantle. I used that laugh, and I used the clock in that because I figured I might as well try sampling, and that's what I did, and it was really, really scary. My cousin didn't want to use it because of it. And this movie, this one specifically, has influenced myself, musically. When I get really, really into my guitar and I'm fucking busting out heavy, like heavy death metal, it's usually because of this movie. I think of this fucking movie. Because even when I'm playing guitar, I'm not a completely serious guy. I think that's why I gravitated so much towards Evil Dead 2, because it can be serious, but it's not fully serious. And that's how I am. Even when playing my guitar, I'm just dicking around and I'm like playing something heavy, and then I decided to do a breakdown consisting of one note and just bop my head like and make a bunch of stupid faces. So this movie is definitely worth watching, and you're gonna see a theme here. There's gonna be a lot of classics on here because that's what I watch a lot of. So Evil Dead 2, even that Blu-ray looks nice. I think I watched it on DVD the first time, but the Blu-ray, totally worth it. I love it. One of my favorite films. Obviously, these are all some of my favorite films. And of course, we got Silence of the Lambs. Now, I've only watched this one time. All it took for me to love this movie was to watch it one time. There's a lot of, when you talk serial killers in movies, a lot of people think of the stupid but incredibly strong characters like Jason Voorhees, who can't be killed, and when he's killed, he comes back. Or Leatherface, who's just he's so stupid, he can't feel pain. He's immensely strong, and he'll use whatever means necessary. But like Anthony Hopkins, his horrific power is his intelligence. He uses it to fuck with people, and he uses it against the police guys, against Clarice, against everyone, and it's fucking phenomenal. And I'm glad it's more of a scholarly film or a scholarly character, because that's what horror needs more of. It needs more smart villains, smart serial killers. That's not to say that we can't have of Jason Voorhees or a new Freddy Krueger or something every once in a while, but it wouldn't hurt to have another Hannibal Lecter every once in a while, because it's so refreshing. Because before I watched this, looking at this, I watched these past two movies, I watched a lot of like very mindless horror, and this movie I had to pay attention. I had to pay attention in order to gather all the stuff, and that's what makes this one so special compared to all of my other movies. Anthony Hopkins on top of it makes it's so beautiful. He's such a great actor, and he just portrays Hannibal, and I could not imagine a single person if taking over that role. If Anthony Hopkins died and they need a Hannibal for the movie, I don't think they'd be able to fill that role. Even in Hannibal, or you've seen my Hannibal review, even in Hannibal, I don't think anyone else would have done better. So on to the next one. The Exorcist 3. Now, you might have noticed a theme. 3 of these are sequels so far. And why is that? Well, typically, when I said that rule, and I did say it in Hannibal, and I'm going to reiterate it, the rule typically is that the sequel will never be as good as the prequel or the first one. But in certain cases, when it does happen, and that's very infrequent, but when it does, it usually blows it out of the water or sucks dick. There is no in between. There's no like, oh, well, the sequel was as good as the first. It's either better than the first in every way, or it's just fucking not, and it just sucks. Because, like, for example, we're going to use Hannibal real quick, and then we're going to move on. Is that this movie sets Hannibal up so much that there's no way it could have ever possibly reached that expectation. But The Exorcist, the first Exorcist, is the same way, but this one just completely demolishes it. The Gemini killer's speech alone, never mind all the cool little hidden stuff like the Joker statue, and if you've seen that, you're probably gonna, or seen this movie, you're probably gonna watch it again. But the Joker statue, the little small things here and there that you'd miss. If you blink, you'll miss it. If you look away for a second, you'll fucking miss it. And that's beautiful. And I watched The Exorcist the beginning, and I was absolutely disgusted because it didn't have any of this. That's an instance of where a sequel, which was supposed to be a prequel, fell flat on every turn. But this one improved upon the first one because it's connected, but it sets itself apart enough where it feels like it could be something else. Where it feels like this could potentially branch out elsewhere, but it doesn't, and it's beautiful. The kills are beautiful. Like I said, the small things within it. Lieutenant Kinderberg, I always get his last name Kinderman. I always get his last name mixed up. His name mixed up. I don't know why. I don't even know anyone with Kinderberg. I don't think I know anyone with that name. But this one, watch the first one, then definitely get this one. This one is a masterpiece. This is probably my favorite out of all of them, with the exception of Evil Dead 2. So, and well, I couldn't even place these, but if I had, out of all these 5, this would probably be the closest to number 1 it could be, without being quite it. Because like I said, I don't know how to organize things in the way I like them. I don't look at it like that. And now, as I breathe out of my mouth, because I can't breathe out of my nose. Oh, Jesus. The Crow. The Crow is just... It's one of those movies that it's a classic for a reason. The soundtrack, the setting, the villains, Brandon Lee, the Crow itself, they all work so well together. I mean, if you really look at the Crow, it's kind of like a modern gothic kind of theme within the city. It's like, you know, you have these fucking assholes that are screaming, fire it up, as they're burning places down, as they're blowing up buildings and shit. And it's truly chaotic, but it's like, just, oh my god, I can't even imagine. It's like, it's kind of like, it is a revenge story. It's about a guy, Eric Draven, I think that's his name, once again, awful with names, dies, his wife, or to-be wife, his fiancée, raped and killed. He's thrown out of a building, and now he seeks revenge. And revenge he does get. Some of the deaths in this are so fucking cool. The kills in this are so cool. And it's just... He's we're gonna call him the Crow because I can't remember his name. I know it's Eric Draven. I believe it's Eric Draven, but I can't remember. But the Crow himself is just such a cool and calm, collected guy, even in the face of people trying to kill him. And obviously it's due to his immortality. But like some of the stuff he says, like victims aren't we all? And I mean, even it can't rain all the time. That sounds fucking retarded, but it's kind of a nice thing. It's kind of a nice slogan. And the speech when he's talking to what's-her-face, Darla, he says, mother is the name for God in the hearts and mouths of children. Like, that's some sweet stuff. There's a lot of, I don't know if I'd call it philosophical. We're going to call it intellectual stuff that happens. And I love the soundtrack. They got, I think it was Helmet, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, there's some great bands here. I believe Nine Inch Nails even. And it's just the setting, this kind of rock that just comes together with this dark character. This character whose entire being is surrounded in darkness and sorrow and anger and revenge. And it just comes together in a way I don't think any movie really has. It's such a fucking beautiful movie. It has such a great climax. Because a lot of movies I watch, I'm like, the ending wasn't that great. But like this one, really nice. Really good end, I should say. Totally worth it. I would recommend all of these movies. If you don't have all of these movies, do yourself a favor and get all of these movies. And there are some honorable mentions, because I said this is going to be a quick video when it's fucking 14 and a half minutes long. So, we're going to go Ringu. If you don't like subtitles, I would say don't watch this. The problem with watching Japanese films is, obviously you got to watch dubbed or subbed, but like I would say you should always watch a foreign movie subbed, or else it turns into a comedy. Wreck was an exemption from this, because even with the dubbed, it was very dark, so you really couldn't, it wasn't as in your face, but I think Ringu would definitely be something that if you watched, you would notice it. Like when the words and the lips don't match, you would totally notice it. But it's such a great movie, very, very Japanese, and I say that because the Japanese horror and Western horror are two different things, and I love it for it. Like, a lot of Japanese horror is out there. It's like a lot of ghost stories. I believe Page of Madness, that's a ghost story. Uzumaki is another weird one about fucking spirals. It's like that kind of originality and that kind of just out of the box thinking is what makes Japanese horror so great and why I want to see more. And Ringu was a great starting place for me. I did watch Ju-on, which is the original Grudge, and that was great. And if you don't know, the Ringu, if you can't tell by the name, that is the original Ring. That movie inspired the Ring. And out of everyone I've talked to, Ringu was better than the Ring. So if you've seen the Ring, you should watch Ringu, definitely. And another one, Hellraiser, probably. I really liked Pinhead as a character. I really liked the idea of pain indistinguishable from pleasure. It's such a weird way of looking at it. It's like, it gives this spin of like this really, really, really heavy and deadly kind of BDSM feel. The Cenobites look awesome. I think the special effects in Hellraiser, the first one specifically, are amazing. Like when he gets regenerated, I'm not gonna say who, but when he gets regenerated, him crawling up from the fucking floorboards, the fucking slime, it was just amazing. It's just, it was so fucking cool. And the skin suit and just everything. You could see the love that was put into this. And I would wholeheartedly recommend all 7 of these films. I think that's 7, yeah, because I talked about 2 honorable mentions. Usually there's more. But, damn. Thank you guys for watching this short video. But I gotta go lay down. Oh my god. So, thank you guys. Once again, I'm going to say this one more time. I don't want to repeat myself, but I just want to make sure that everything's clear. I may stream, but do not get your hopes up. I'm really not feeling well, especially because I don't know if you want to hear the entire time. Because that's pretty much how it's going to be. Oh, shit. Thank you guys for watching. Mortician, peace out.